Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Goodrich. Today I'm going to be talking on credit risk analytics. If I say credit risk analytics, most people think credit score, something fraud detection. If you think it's just Excel spreadsheets and bank reports, it's actually none of those things. Credit risk analytics is the reason a fintech can approve a loan in 5 seconds or decline it. It's the data system behind every lending decision, and nobody is teaching it properly. I am going to fix that. I will walk you through how this field looks like on the inside. So let me give you the real definition. Credit risk analytics is using data to answer one question, and that question is if we lend this person money, will the person pay it back? That's just the one question we are trying to answer with credit risk analytics. That sounds so simple, but it's not, because behind that question, there is an entire data operation that is going on. So, first of all, you will need to collect the borrower data, income, employment, repayment history. You will need to build metrics, things like days past due, portfolio at risk, vintage curves. You will need to monitor thousands or millions of loans simultaneously. And you need to do all of this with SQL, Python, and dashboards, not just your feeling. Credit risk analytics is not the same thing as credit scoring. Credit scoring is one puzzle, right? It's just one piece of the puzzle. Credit risk analytics is the whole picture. From the moment someone applies for a loan to the moment they pay it back or don't. Now, every lending company, whether it's a bank, a fintech, or a microfinance institution, needs to answer 5 questions. These 5 questions are the foundation of everything a credit risk analyst does. So we are going to be going through those questions one after the other. Now, number one, should we approve this loan? That's the first question. So this is underwriting. First of all, you look at the applicant's data, their income, their history, and their behavior, and you make a decision. So it's either you approve, decline, or you approve at a lower amount. Most of this is automated now using rules and models. Then you have the second question. How is the loan, right? How is our loan portfolio performing right now? How is our loan portfolio performing right now? This is portfolio monitoring, and you are tracking metrics like PAR, that's portfolio at risk, delinquency rates, collection rates. And if you are a credit risk analyst, you are probably building these dashboards already where you are working. Then that takes us to the third question. And the question is, are things getting better or worse? Are things getting better or are they getting worse over time? This is trend analysis. You use vintage analysis and roll rates to see if newer loans are riskier than older ones, right? So this is where the real insight lives and where most beginners never get to. Then we have the fourth question. How much money will we lose? So it's more like if we lend, this group of people money or this person money, right? How much are we going to lose? So this brings us to what we call provisioning and loss forecasting, right? You are estimating expected losses using models. We have banks using frameworks like IFRS 9. Then we have fintechs, right, using simpler versions. But the goal is the same. Set aside money for loans that won't come back. Then we have the fifth question, which is how do we improve our lending decision, right? I mean, after looking at those metrics, you found out that, oh, maybe we brought in a bad cohort, bad users, right? You would want to improve whatever decision was made on this set of cohorts. So that is why we have this number five. How do we improve our lending decisions? This is strategy, right? You are using data to refine how you lend to, right? Who you lend to, how much you lend, and how you collect. So this is where credit risk analysts connect to real business impact. So this is literally the job, right? These 5 questions and every metric, every query, every model you build as a credit risk analyst serve one of these 5. Now let's look at what a day-to-day, right, looks like for a credit risk analyst, right? What do they actually do? Now let me make this concrete, right? Let's just take, for instance, on a Tuesday morning, what a credit risk analyst actually do. So you go into your workspace or your office, right? You open your laptop, you check the portfolio dashboard, you check the performance. Did delinquency go up overnight? Did it go down? Any early warning sign, any signal, then maybe you pull an SQL query to investigate a spike, right, in 30 plus days past due loans, right? That's an example. Or maybe you notice a particular loan product has a higher default in the last 2 months. I mean, you have to investigate it, right? You run a vintage analysis to confirm what you just saw. Or sometimes you write a short summary for the risk team. You might adjust the credit policy rule to tighten limits, for a specific borrower segment or stuff like that. I mean, that's it. There is no machine learning, no complex models, just SQL, clear thinking, and knowing which metric to look at. So here's what surprised me when I started working in this field. About 70% of the work is SQL. 70% of the work is SQL. You are always going to query the tables, right? The loan table, repayment tables, snapshot tables, and you always going to calculate, metrics like days past due, pocketing loans, and building cohorts. Then another 20% is communication, translating data into decision for non-technical stakeholders, right? At the end of it all, people you may be reporting to may not be technical, right? So you need to find a way to translate what you've done, right, in a way that they will understand what's going on. So that brings us to this communication. Then the other 10% is Python or modeling, right? So the ratio might shift a bit bigger in other companies, but for most fintech teams, SQL is the king. Now, why, right, is this field booming? I mean, it's actually booming because if you check the rate at which we have positions for credit risks, right, out there is coming in, you see that most of the microfinance banks are always looking for credit risk analysts, right? You can just search it online and check. Let me tell you what I think, right? Credit risk is one of the best career niche in data analyst right now. It's one of the best niche that you can find yourself in. First, fintech is exploding globally. I mean, I'll take Nigeria as an example. We have several fintech, right? To more coming, especially in the Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America. Every new digital lender needs people who understand credit risk data, and the demand is real. Second, almost nobody teaches it. Nobody teaches credit risk, right? If you go to YouTube right now and search credit risk analytics tutorial, what you will find are academic lectures, updated bank training videos, and maybe one or two decent results, right? Compare that to data analytics tutorial, which has thousands of videos, right, on the internet. This is an undeserved niche that people are ignoring with a high demand. Hey, it pays well. It pays well. It pays well. Credit risk analysts, especially at fintechs, are well compensated because the work they do affects the company's bottom line, right? Any bad lending decision would, lead to you losing money in the company, right? Whereas good analytics prevents that loss, right? So you earn good money. Then the fourth one is you don't need a finance degree. You don't need any big degree before you can work as a credit risk analyst, right? All you need to know is SQL, right? And then your willingness to learn, right? So long as you're willing to learn, things in the domain, you can break into this field. That's exactly what this channel will help you do. Now, you may be asking, why credit risk analytics? Why credit risk analytics? It's just a nice domain, right? That you can easily go in and you venture very well. Now, what this channel will teach you, right, is it will teach you more things in credit risk, right? Hi, my name is Goodrich, like I earlier told you, and I work in credit risk analytics. I work as a credit risk analyst, right? And I work in several microfinance bank, and I've built data system that powers lending decision, the pipeline, the metrics, the dashboards. I've been a part of it, and I can tell, right? I can tell you what goes on in there. So on this channel, I'm going to teach you credit risk analytics the way it is, right? Actually practicing in your world. It's not going to be all theoretical, right? We're going to have hands-on, right? See the SQL, see how these things are built. No too much textbook definition. We are going to see the real stuff in this channel. So here's what's coming to this channel. We'll have SQL tutorial. I'm going to show you the exact queries credit risk analysts use daily. Those past due calculations, vintage analysis, roll rates, portfolio dashboards, all of it. It's coming to this channel. Then we'll have a full credit risk bootcamp series. It's going to be a structured playlist that takes you from a zero to job ready, episode by episode. So it's going to be coming to this channel too. Then how lenders actually works, the inside perspective, how loans get approved in seconds, how limits get set, how fintechs think about rates differently from banks. Then we're going to have career contents, how to break into this field, how to prepare for interviews, what to put in your portfolio, just so that you can get ready for the job market. I'm also going to be posting shorts, 30 seconds explanation videos on some credit risk concepts so that you will learn something every time you scroll. Right. So these are the things I am going to cover in this channel. Right. So if you are watching this and thinking, oh, I want to learn this, here's what I would recommend. Start with the basics. Start with the basics. Understand what DPD is, understand what PAR is, know the difference between unit rates and balance rates. Right. I also made a free cheat sheet, right? It has 10 credit risk metrics every analyst needs to know, right? It's a one-page document with formulas, SQL snippets, right? The key insights for each one. So the link, I'm going to drop it in the description. It's free, so you can just go in there, click on the link and download it. And if you want to maybe go deeper, I also have a starter kit with a 23-page guide, right? It has 500 SQL queries and 5 realistic data sets that you can practice on. Realistic. So the link would also be attached in the description. But honestly, just subscribe and watch the next video. Next week, I'm doing the 5 SQL queries every credit risk analyst needs. So that's the one where we get our hands on. We're going to see practical stuff, write queries and see how it all looks like. All right. So if this video was useful to you, subscribe, right, and follow. I'm building this channel to be the best resource for credit risk analytics on YouTube. That's the goal, right? So drop a comment for me. Tell me, are you ready? Are you already working in the credit risk field or are you trying to break in? I want to know who is watching so that I can make the right content for you. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.